Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Mathma. I am Rahul Naik and this is lecture 20 on the course Differential Equation and Discrete Mathematics. In this lecture we will be discussing yet another method to obtain particular solution to a non-homogeneous second order linear differential equation titled as the method of variation of parameter. In the previous lectures we have seen the one method to obtain a particular solution of the same kind of differential equation, which was called as the undetermined coefficients methods. There were certain limitations of those methods. The first limitations were that the functions that were occurring in the second order linear differential equation, that is p of x and q of x, need to be constant, only then it can be used. The second limitation of the same method was that this r of x need to be of particular form, then only we can apply that undetermined coefficient. So here in this lecture we see yet another powerful methods which overcome this difficulties that we are facing, and it's called as the method of variation of parameters. So again we consider the same kind of differential equation. In this case this p of x and q of x can be a constant, can be a function continuous on the closed interval a comma b, where we are wished to find the second order solution of this second order differential equation. R of x also need to be a continuous. So the corresponding homogeneous equation is given by y double dash plus p of x y dash plus q of x y is equal to 0. Now this method can be applied provided you know the general solution of this homogeneous differential equation. So let's start with the general solution. So suppose we have a general solution yg of x equal to c1 y1 of x plus c2 y2 of x, the general solution of this equation 2. That is, in this case y1 and y2 are two linearly independent solutions of 2. Now our aim is to determine the particular solution of this equation 1, and so its general solution will be given by this yg of x plus that particular solution. So now the method is somewhat similar to the lectures in the lecture in which we have discussed a method to obtain another solution given one solution. So in that case what we used to do is that instead of taking the another solution as constant into the one solution, we replace that constant with the new parameter, with the new function v of x, and we determine that v of x. So same thing we are going to do over here. We know that this is a general solution to the equation 1. So if that r of x is non-zero, this cannot be a solution to equation 1. So what we do is that we replace this c1 and c2 as some new functions v1 and v2 which need to be determined. So we assume that the particular solution is the linear combination of again this v1 and v2. Only thing, in place of c1 and c2 we have new functions which we need to determine, assuming that the given function is a solution to the differential equation. So that's how the method goes. So let's start over here. So let yp be equal to v1 of x into y1 of x plus v2 of x into y2 of x. So this is the idea. I would put this in a box so that we remember that this is how we started with the method. We want to determine this yp. This is a particular solution. We are assuming that this is a particular solution. So in this case we would be determining this v1 and v2 which are unknowns. So be a solution of non-homogeneous differential equation, that is 1, where v1 and v2 to be determined. So since there are two unknowns that are involved in this function v1 and v2, we need to have two equation relating this function. So the first equation we readily obtained from using the fact that this yp is a solution of equation 1. Okay, now since it's a solution, it satisfies the given equation 1, so we need to determine its first derivative and the second derivative. So the second solution, the second equation we actually obtained from the first derivative of yp, so for that we need to compute the first derivative. So therefore yp prime, I would simply call it as yp, this is yp of x by the way, I would simply call it as yp prime, and I would avoid to write this x inside the bracket. So you use, for the first term we use the product rule, so that is same as v1 y1 prime plus v1 prime y1, and this would be same as v2 prime y2 plus v2 y2 prime. Okay, so now when I I need to determine this v1 and v2. So if I compute the second derivative, just look at the term including v1 prime and v2 prime. So these are the term having v1 and prime and v2 prime. So this will go on for the second derivative, which would lead to a complicated task for us, because we want to determine this v1 and v2. So what I'll do is that I would make this term equal to 0. So since v1 and v2 is our choice, I mean we need to determine, we put one more condition on this v1 and v2. We will put the condition that this v1 and v2 v1 prime and y1, v1 prime y1 plus v2 prime y2 is equal to 0, so that we get rid of this first derivative in yp prime. So I'll call this as equation okay, by the way I should have called this as equation 3, this as equation 4, and this as equation 5. So let v1 and v2 be such that v1 prime y1 plus v2 prime y2 is equal to 0. We put this condition first only, so that we can very easily evaluate the second derivative of this yp, and this would be one equation, among those two equations from which we determine the value of v1 and v2. So ultimately we need to get a system of two equations to determine this v1 and v2. So we have this, and therefore from 5 yp prime is same as v1 y1 prime plus v2 y2 prime. I'll denote this as equation 7, and so from here one can find its second derivative. So therefore yp double prime, okay, in fact I can write it over here, yp double prime would be same as, again this is same as v1 prime y1 prime plus v1 y1 double prime plus v2 prime y2 prime plus v2 y2 double prime. I'll call this as equation 8. Now since I know that this yp, I'm assuming that this yp is a solution to equation 1, it should satisfy equation 1, and from there we would get one more condition or one more solution. So along with that we can take this 6 and solve it. So putting, since since yp is a solution of equation 1, it satisfies the given equation, and so that means you will replace y by yp, so that is yp double prime plus p of x into yp prime plus q of x into yp will be equal to r of x. Now putting the value of yp double prime and yp prime, we get, so yp double prime, so this is actually yp double prime, right, because we are differentiating it twice, so yp double prime. So that is same as, so yp double prime is v1 prime y1 prime plus v1 y1 double prime plus v2 prime y2 prime plus v2 y2 double prime plus p of x into yp prime. So yp prime from here is, okay, I'll just substitute you here, v1 y1 prime plus v2 y2 prime plus q of x, let me write it over here, q of x into yp, yp is nothing but v1 y1 plus v2 y2, that is now equal to r of x. Don't forget that this y1 and y2 are the solution to the given equation, corresponding homogeneous equation. So we might get that term in the right hand side. So if you observe the coefficients of v1 and v2, see, from here I have y1 prime, and from here I have the coefficient of v1, it will be y1 prime into p of x, and from here it is going to be y1 into p of x. That's exactly the left hand side of the second differential equation of, and in that case, since y1 is a solution of the second differential equation, so that term will become 0. So that's how we simplify this. Again, similarly you can do for y2 prime also. From here you can remove v2, and from, so taking this v2 common, just check the coefficient of v2, you have y2 prime, here you have p of x into y2 prime, this is y2 double prime, q of x into y2. So first I will collect those terms, so that is same as saying I'll take v1 common, and inside v1 we have this, first term is y1 double prime plus the second term that comes from here, so I'll just underline those terms which I'm already taking, p of x into y1 prime, and from the last term, that is q of x into y1. And next I take v2 common, and so if I see the coefficient of v2, from here I get y2 double prime, and from here I get y2 prime into p of x, so that is p of x into y2 prime, plus from here I get q of x into y2, this is y2, right, and the remaining terms. So don't forget to take the remaining terms. So the remaining terms, these are the only two terms that are remaining over here, that is plus v1 prime y1 prime plus v2 prime y2 prime is equal to r of x. So that is the whole equation that we are getting. Now since you know the fact that y1 is a solution to the corresponding homogeneous equation, this whole expression will be equal to 0, and same way this whole expression will be equal to 0. So since y1 and y2 are solution of equation 2, we have, so this term and this term will become 0, and so we will have v1 prime y1 prime plus v2 prime y2 prime is equal to r of x. So this is one of the condition that we are getting from by substituting this yp in the equation 1. So that this is equation 9. So now just consider the equation equation 6, having the unknown v1 prime v2 prime with the variable y1 and y2. Same way equation 9, having the same unknown v1 prime v2 prime with the with the unknowns v1 prime and v2 prime. So that leads to a system of equation which we are looking for to determine the value v1 and v2. So taking equation 6 and 9, taking equation 6 and 9, we get the system v1, so the first equation 6 was same as v1 prime y1 plus v2 prime y2 is equal to 0, homogeneous equation, and here we have non-homogeneous equation plus v2 prime y2 prime is equal to r of x. I'll call this system as star. So we need to know whether this system is solvable, and it is very easy to determine. So this system is solvable provided the coefficient determinant of the coefficient matrix is non-zero, because that would give us the rank of the coefficient matrix equal to 2, which would be same as the rank of the augmented matrix, and which will coincide with the number of unknowns that are present, that is v1 prime and v2 prime, which are 2. So since, and that we can easily observe, the determinant is nothing but y1 y2 y1 prime y2 prime, which is nothing but the Wronskian of y1 and y2, and this will never be equal to 0 because y1 and y2 are the linearly independent solution. So since y1 and y2 are linearly independent solution, Wronskian of y1 y2 at x would be same as y1 y2 y1 prime y2 prime. This will never be equal to 0 for any x in a comma b, and therefore we say that the system star have unique solution. And since it's a 2 cross 2 system, we can solve it using Cramer's rules, because the Wronskian, this is going to appear, this determinant is going to appear in the denominator is non-zero. So using Cramer's rule, okay, so the first unknown is v1 prime, so we would determine v1 prime, or even you can use the elimination technique. V1 prime is same as, okay, so what is, so there will be a common denominator, that is the coefficient matrix, in this case y1 y2 y1 prime y2 prime. So y1 y2 y1 prime y2 prime, it's a function of x, so we know that. And to determine Wronskian, again I would be taking Wronskian, the determinant, I would just replace this y1 prime, the first column, with 0 r of x, and the second column as it is. So that's same as 0 r of x y2 prime. This gives me the value, this will become 0, so minus y2 into r of x upon, this is nothing but the Wronskian of y1 comma y2 at x. So that's the value of v1 prime. So once you know v1, you can very easily obtain v1 by integrating it. So again, from the same method you can obtain v2 prime. The denominator will be Wronskian, as you can observe from the first one, common only thing. So the first column will remain as it is in this case, and the row will change to 0 of r of x. That is nothing but y1 into r of x is equal upon Wronskian of y1 comma y2 of x, and therefore v1, by integrating, we get integral of minus y2 r of x upon Wronskian of y1 comma y2 of x into dx. This is a function of x, y2 of x, in fact you can take it. And v2, we don't take integral of constant, because we may integrate it from x to some constant fixed point in the interval, so we don't consider that in this case. y1 r of x, y1 is a function, don't forget that, dx. So that's what we require to know. I would put this in bracket because this would serve as a formula for us when we are solving a non-homogeneous differential equation with this method. So now you substitute this v1 and v2 in the particular solution. So therefore the particular solution, which is given by Therefore, particular solution of 1 is yp of x, which is nothing but v1 of x into y1 of x plus v2 of x into y2 of x, and therefore this can be written as y1 of x into, this y1 is outside the integral, v1 is given by minus y2 of x r of x upon Wronskian dx plus y2 of x Wronskian y1 of x r of x. So once you know this, then so that's your yp of x. Once you know this, then you can find the general solution of the non-homogeneous differential equation. That is nothing but the sum of yp plus the general solution of homogeneous differential equation. So now why this is called as the variation of parameter? It's only because, you know, we are just varying the parameter from c1 c2 to this v1 of x into v2 of x, and this method was invented first by French mathematician Lagrange in analytic mechanics. Now the only limitations that this method would have, I wouldn't call it as a limitation, because anyway that is required to find a general solution of a non-homogeneous differential equation, is that you know, you have to first know the general solution of the homogeneous differential equation, and we have seen only how to find the general solution to a homogeneous equation with the constant coefficient. So that's a limitation over here, and therefore we can solve only, as of now we can solve only although this method can be used for general solution of homogeneous differential equation, even if the coefficient is not constant, we will restrict ourselves to solve for the constant coefficient. So one can try solving the problem based on this. Okay, the another limitation that one can have is this integral. Now the integrand coming in this integral sometime may not possible to integrate it out, or you know, it's bit cumbersome to evaluate it. Okay, so that is also there. So but it can be used, you know, as a general method to find a non-homogeneous differential equation. So that's why we have a powerful method which is dominating undetermined coefficient method. So with this I end up this session. I hope you have understood the method of variation of parameter, so you can try out some problems using this method. Thank you for watching this video and have a nice day ahead.